Advice for relationship with my wife's affair partner. I find myself in a particularly awful situation. My wife and I have been together 16 years, married for 8. She has been having an affair, physical and emotional, for the last 9 to 12 months. I found out about 4 months ago. I will try to be brief since most of the details aren't relevant to the question. I made up names just to make this easier to read. Me is Stephen. Wife is Sarah. Affair partner is John. Backstory. John and Sarah dated in high school. He was described as emotionally abusive. He cheated on her multiple times over the course of their relationship. They dated on and off. When Sarah and I, Stephen, started dating, she had a special hatred for John. She felt as though she couldn't trust anybody because of how much he lied to her and cheated on her. She made claims along the lines of being permanently scarred from that relationship. When we would visit her hometown and see her friends, they would make comments about much of an asshole John is. Fast forward 15 years, Sarah and I have 2 children together ages 8 and 2. Sarah is an accountant, and through her work, John ends up becoming a client. Sarah asked if I had any problem with that. I said no because I trusted her, and additionally, John now lives over 200 miles away. Over the course of working together, their communication gradually became more flirty and eventually developed into an emotional affair and then a physical affair. After I discovered the affair, we began therapy and sought to recover our marriage and stay together. There were issues that needed to be addressed on both sides. While going through therapy, I felt as though she was making virtually no attempt to improve anything while I felt as though I was jumping through hoops to try to make her happy. The entire time going through therapy, she continued speaking with John despite repeated attempts to stop her from talking to him. She would switch between different means of communication and kept trying to hide it. They met several times during this period, which she also attempted to hide. Looking through messages between Sarah and John, the first felt as though John was putting a lot of pressure on Sarah. The messages sound very manipulative. Additionally, he is very pushy and persistent. From my perspective, Sarah really did want to try to work on our relationship, but this guy was perpetually in the way and she couldn't bring herself not to keep responding to him. Long story short, she has declared us separated, and they are now dating. We still live in the same house with our children. This weekend, she invited John to our house without my consent nor notification with the intention of introducing him to our children. I absolutely lost my mind with anger. I said things that I should not have. I threatened him and I punched a giant hole in the wall. I look like a giant psychopath. I'm not typically an angry person. I have never acted like this in my life. At this time, any thought of John being with my children or being a part of my children's life makes me irrationally angry. Right now, Sarah is pulling the "you can't legally stop me from introducing them" card, as well as saying that I can't legally stop her from bringing him into our house. All of this is technically true. I have been seeing a therapist, but getting that "you're going to have to learn to coexist with this man's story" is really not helpful right now. She is planning on bringing him back down again next weekend to try again. Any advice?